Return to Silent Hill. The only thing I wish I could return to was a time before watching this movie. Welcome to Creepin' It Real. And today we're talking about 2026's Return to Silent Hill. Do you think we should have ever gone in the first place, Judah?
I thought the first two movies were not that great, Silent Hill and Silent Hill Revelations. But after watching this, and I actually think they are better in comparison to this one, in some ways, I do think it was beneficial for us to watch this movie. But I played the first game only to the first end boss. I beat it, and then I was like, okay, this game is too scary for me. I'm
too
not playing
spooky.
it. Yeah. So I didn't dive any more into it. I did watch those two movies, which I thought were hideous, and this one, is par for the course.
Okay, so let's touch on this. I love the Silent Hill series.
Okay.
Love it, right? I mean, there's some games in there that are hot dog trash. Same with Resident Evil. We touched on this in our Gremlins review a little bit. What age were you when you played Silent Hill?
What age was I?
Yeah.
Whatever year it came out. I don't
99?
So I was a teen.
Okay. So I played this when I was like 12. So it's like sizzling, So do I know the lore? Obviously not. Check our comments beforehand.
Wait. Let me clarify that for you. You were getting the game lore slightly mixed in with the movie lore. So there's
Is it snow? Is it ash?
There's some forgive. I think the big thing was that you were saying that it was based off that Pennsylvania town, and the games have no relation or any inspiration from that Pennsylvania town. It was when they made the first movie that the director was trying to give it some kind of grounding.
Thanks for reminding me, Jenna. Did they stick to the game? For the most part, they stuck. This is based off Silent Hill 2. James is the main, I don't know if I want to say antagonist or protagonist. He's a dick. I know that much, man. Very unlikable character. I feel like James in the game was like you felt for him a little bit. In this, they just made him out to be a Mustang driving, doobie smoking artiste. Anyways, I don't have a ton to say about this movie just because I went into it with the expectation being very low.
Mm-hmm.
I clearly did not set my expectations low enough.
Wow.
But the actors were no-name actors, which we touched on this before. Sometimes that really does the movie good because you're not looking at previous characters they've done and seeing them. It's like we were talking, I think one example was like Jim Halpert.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place, man. For the first hour and a half, I'm just like,
that's all you could see.
Where's Pam?
Yeah.
Where's Pam, man? So
first wave, she got taken out.
First wave, she got taken out. Yeah. So the characters were not delved in too much. Mary and James, you didn't know who this story was truly about. And I'll touch base on the CGI was really shit. The practical effects, where there were practical effects, were really shit. They took everything from the game. It almost looked like stock footage from the game sometimes, like the remake, the new one. Even the sign was the exact same sign, Silent Hill. The one thing that really pissed me off, and I knew I was in for a shit show, was the intro where the Return to Silent Hill title comes up, and it's like, I don't know, #1 grunge font from dafont.com.
Yeah.
It was just so like, dude, they didn't put anything into this. I don't know what the motivation was to make this movie. I think they were trying to ride off the wave of the remake being done recently. It's been a year or so. But either way, man, I don't want to say I was disappointed because I went into this going, dude, this is going to be shit.
I also went in with no high expectations, but it was easy to understand that this movie was supposed to be about trauma. And you touched on this a little bit. Like some of these monsters, you didn't actually have to know where the trauma came from. It was enough to just know that these are representations of trauma. The thing is that the woman, it touched Mary. It touched so much on these multiple characters that were blatant. I mean, I just screamed right from the beginning. that these characters are supposed to represent different aspects of Mary. And so that was super obvious. Even when they introduced this young girl, I immediately understood this is another aspect of Mary. So James is waking up like in a hospital. He's coming in and out of like mental
psychosis.
Yeah, some kind of weird, psychosis, coma or something, going into Silent Hill. So you're dealing with this, like, is he in the real world or is he in his brain? But then even when he's in his brain, there's also another switch where it's like he's in the real world, his brain, but now he's in the dark portions of his brain.
But is it Mary's brain?
Exactly. So it's like, how is he walking around in her brain? But how is it his trauma we're dealing with? But why is it so focused on her? It was not clear. And if everything is a representation of a trauma of one of these two characters, who were these other characters that were introduced? What were they supposed to represent? There was this guy named Eddie, and there's some bum that gets killed immediately. And I'm like, who were they supposed to be? Mm-hmm. What portion of what brain, what trauma did each of these characters represent? Was not clear to me. I was
and that kind of ties into the baby thing.
Yes, there's a baby.
The adolescent part of Mary is carrying around a dead baby, but it's alive at the same time. You're like, okay, did he rape her and then they had a child, a miscarriage, or was it aborted, or what's going on? Because she distinctly says in the movie, I got this from Mary. Mary gave this to me. So clearly there's a tie-in where you're thinking, oh, okay, well, she must have had a child and it was a miscarriage or something happened here. How did that happen? Was it from her adoptive dad when he was raping her? Did she become pregnant? You know, it's never really delved into. Eddie is a much bigger character in the game. Again, it's one of those things where in the game, you're not so much in somebody's head. Silent Hill is a place. With this, you are never surely told whether or not this is something real that's going on or if it's all just a dream or whatever in somebody's head. So Eddie was in this movie for 5 minutes? Something like that. In the game, he's a fairly big character that shows up a couple times. You've got a boss fight with him after he finally goes totally nuts.
You could remove that whole portion of the movie and you would not lose anything from the movie at all.
I think you mentioned this when we talked after the movie. You asked me, do you think it's just a nod to the fans? Do you think it's just for the fans? And I'm like, that's the only explanation that I have, is that involving him in some way was just, hey guys, we know the lore. Remember this in the game? Otherwise, he adds absolutely nothing to the story.
Yeah.
So
now, speaking on the effects, James stops at this bathroom. He goes into this gas station bathroom and a cockroach runs across the floor. Clearly CG. And I was just like, you can't tell me that there isn't somebody out there who rents out real cockroaches. You couldn't have just used a real cockroach because it was so blatantly CG. I mean, the bathroom, the disgustingness of the bathroom was on point.
Yeah.
But that one cockroach just took me out of the whole scene because of how CG it looked. Which, speaking of cockroaches, the only point in this movie that I enjoyed is when he's in Silent Hill and they're in the dark. Is there a word for when they're in after the siren occurs?
I don't remember it. But
okay.
You're in the other part of Silent Hill. Yes,
it's
the dark.
It's the sirens have gone off. Things are going bad. Billions of cockroaches.
Creepers.
Are they called creepers?
Jeez.
I don't know. They start just like crawling out of everywhere. Side note, they can crawl up everything. So when he went into that building and it was like somehow those doors stopped them, bullshit. Those things would have been up the sides of that building wall and finding any crack they could have came through, and he would have been devoured. The first close-up that you get, he accidentally crushes one or something, and it shows this thing on its back with it's all like its tongue.
That sound actually comes out of it.
It is the funniest. Me and Jake just looked at each other and
we
laughed
were out loud,
dying laughing
theater.
Because it was so just like cartoonishly trope of I'm dead. It's like something you would have seen on Looney Tunes.
Tell my wife and kids I love them.
The only thing that would have made it better is if its tongue came out and then its legs just went doink and just shot straight out. That would have been fantastic. That was the only funny thing or memorable thing in this movie.
I don't think it was even intentionally comical.
I don't either.
Which I think they were trying to show the creepiness of these things. How, and dude, it did not hit on any level except for laughter. I mean, which this movie, there was not supposed to be any of that. You're dealing with rape. You're dealing with molestation.
Yeah.
Can we say those words on here?
Well,
and it just was like, where did this come from, man? So,
for me, somebody not a fan, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10.
What? What?
You're going lower?
I'm going 2. They made a movie. That's the only point that they get for me is they made a movie.
No. The creeper with the tongue puts it into 3 for me.
Wow, dude.
It was so bad. But let's get past this. Let's talk about what everybody really wants to talk about. We got Silent Hill, the first movie. We have Silent Hill Revelations, and then we have Return to Silent Hill. Now, Silent Hill and Silent Hill Revelations are a back-to-back movie.
Yeah, you deal with the Silent Hill 1 movie, which has Harry as the main protagonist, yeah.
So, of these 3, which has the hottest nurses? And I was going through, and I was checking them out, and I got to tell you, I think the first movie nails them
the 100%.
most.
Yeah, dude. I was even talking about this afterwards. I was like, dude, it looked like their masks are like 3D printed. This stuff came from Spirit Halloween or something. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I think the budget was a little bit bigger for the first one, so they actually got some,
maybe
Elkhart 8s. Yeah.
So that's our review of Return to Silent Hill. We want to know from you, which of the 3 movies had the hottest nurses? Leave those in the comments. Also,
and did I do it justice with my cosplay?
That's true. You'd have to watch the reaction to the trailer to see that. And do you feel that this movie, 1, is so bad it actually makes the first 2 movies more tolerable? Or do you think this is an upgrade from those first 2 movies? Let us know in the comments. I'm Judah.
I'm Jake.
This has been Creepin' Real. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.